Hello everybody, welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Shane.
And I'm Karen. Today we're looking at part 2 of keeping sight of dry eye. And I think in today's article we'll be learning a lot of things that we can do to prevent this from happening, prevent us from getting dry eye syndrome.
So speaking of which, so you know Taiwan is really, really moist, right?
That's right, it's very humid.
There's a lot of humidity here. So when my wife, I told you she has dry eye syndrome. When we moved to Los Angeles,
in America?
Yes, her eyes got really, really dry because the climate there it's a desert basically.
Ah, okay. So it's a lot drier than Taiwan. So that means her dry eye syndrome got a lot worse?
Yeah, and it was a really huge problem. And the way that they were preventing it is they took something called a punctal plug.
Okay.
It was basically a little tiny steel like post, and they put it inside her tear duct in her eyes. So the tear duct is where your tears will kind of drain out into your sinuses.
Yeah.
But because there wasn't enough moisture in there, they wanted to stop the moisture from draining out to keep the moisture in her eyes.
Really? Is that like a surgery?
I guess it's a kind of surgery, yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't like really, just like, she just went in there and they put it in. It was really quick. She didn't have to go under anesthesia or anything.
Okay.
But oh my gosh, when she told me she had to do that, I was like, oh. But it really worked.
Okay.
It really worked.
Worked for a long time, or eventually the problem came back?
It's worked mostly, but towards the end, it's still a problem because originally she had dry eye problems. But when we moved back to Taiwan, now her eyes
gone.
are just normal dry eye syndrome, not severe dry eye syndrome.
Okay, so your solution is don't live in the States.
All right, so, don't live in the States, and then we'll talk more about some other solutions for everyday things you can do.
Okay. Let's go.
All it takes is a few simple lifestyle changes to prevent and treat dry eye syndrome. The first step toward prevention is cleanliness. When you wash your face, clean your eyelids and lashes with a mild soap. Then cover your eyes with a warm, damp towel to provide more moisture for your eyes. Preventing dry eye also means avoiding eye strain, so take frequent breaks when using your computer.
Okay, so last time we were talking about some of the things that contribute to dry eye. So today we're going to be talking about how we can prevent dry eye from happening.
That's right. Okay, then I'll start. All it takes is a few simple lifestyle changes to prevent and treat dry eye syndrome.
I like simple. Okay, simple.
That's right. And then to prevent something from happening means to stop something from happening.
Right.
And to treat means maybe getting some medication or maybe using eye drops to make it feel better.
Right, if you treat a problem, it means that you're going to take some steps to make it better.
Definitely. Okay, the first step toward prevention is cleanliness.
So being clean.
That's right. I guess that also makes a lot of sense too.
Right.
And prevention is our first vocabulary word, and that is a noun. So it comes from the word to prevent.
To prevent,
right? To prevent, it means to stop something from happening. And our example sentence, the organization created an advertisement to promote the prevention of forest fires.
There's actually a saying in English that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So that means if you just use a little bit of prevention, it's more valuable than like a lot of cure.
You're right.
Right?
So if we can stop something from happening in the beginning, then we can save a lot of effort into saving it.
Because then you don't have to cure it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me continue. When you wash your face, clean your eyelids and lashes with a mild soap. Wait, so when you wash your face, do you actually get soap onto your eyes and eyelids and eyelashes?
When I'm taking off my makeup, yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How about you? You don't do that?
I really just try to avoid my eyes, but it makes sense because girls wear stuff like eyeliner and mascara, so you really have to.
So you never wash your eyelids? Never?
I don't think I really ever do, yeah. Because when I'm washing my face, I just wash here and
Around
here.
the eyes.
Because also, if soap gets in your eyes, it really stings and burns.
And that's why you should use mild soap, right?
Right.
Something that's not very, very strong.
Okay. Then, cover your eyes with a warm, damp towel to provide more moisture for your eyes.
Oh.
So do you do anything like that? Since you're somebody, a girl, who washes her eyes, will you use a mild soap and then use like a towel?
Well, I don't use a towel, a damp towel to, make it more moisturized because I don't really need it. I don't have dry eye syndrome, but I just take off my makeup.
Okay, so we have this word mild, which just means like gentle.
That's right.
Not too severe or strong.
Exactly.
It's an adjective. The example sentence, my doctor gave me a very mild drug, so I'm not worried about possible side effects.
Because if it's like a strong drug, then you probably have really strong side effects, right?
Right, so a lot of times we use these words like strong or mild, right, to compare.
That's right. And the next vocabulary word we have is damp. And damp is an adjective. So damp also means like a little bit wet, right?
Right.
But almost dry.
So how about if we compare this to the word moist? I think it could be quite confusing.
It could be.
Is this thing moist or is it damp? So think about it like this. We have dry over here.
Dry on this side.
And we have wet.
Wet on the
over
side.
here, okay? If something is moist, so wet, let's say we have a towel, okay? So a wet towel means it's completely full of water.
That's right.
You can't get any more water in there. It's just completely wet, right? So if we have moist, that means that it's almost wet. It's like here, right?
Okay.
So now we're back here, dry. So if something is damp, that means there's a little bit of moisture in it. It's not completely dry yet, but it's still a little bit wet.
A little bit wet.
So these are all ways of talking about wet versus dry.
That's right.
Moist is almost wet. Damp is almost dry.
And sometimes you can talk about your clothes being damp, right?
Right, so if there's raining, just a little bit of rain outside, and you came in and you have a little bit of moisture, you say, oh, my clothes are a little bit damp.
That's right. Or you can talk about like a towel too.
Right.
So in our example sentence, it says, I put my clothes back in the dryer because they were still a little damp. Because you can still feel like
that
a little bit
happens a
wet.
lot, right? You get clothes out of the dryer and you're like, oh, it's still a little bit
It's not completely
damp.
dry yet.
Right.
Not yet. Okay. And the next part says preventing dry eye also means avoiding eye strain. Avoiding eye strain. What does that mean by eye strain?
Eye strain, when you strain your eyes, that means that you are really kind of looking at something with a lot of effort. And we do that often, right, with our smartphones
That's right.
and computers.
And also that means that your eyes will feel very tired and they will feel irritated. They will feel basically uncomfortable, right? So you want to avoid that. And avoid is another word for to prevent, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so take frequent breaks when using your computer.
Or smartphone.
You're right, or staring at the screen, right? Frequent breaks. What does it mean by frequent?
Okay, so frequent is an adjective meaning that something happens often within a short period of time.
That's right.
So for example, in Taiwan, Taiwan usually gets hit by frequent typhoons between the months of June and October. So in a short amount of time, it's going to happen quite often that there's frequent, quite often typhoons.
That's right. So it just means very often, right?
Exactly.
All right. Wow. I guess we learned quite a lot already, but we will be learning more after the break.
We'll give you some more tips after the break.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要来看看预防和治疗干眼症的方法。这其实很简单，只需要改变一些简单的生活方式就可以了。好，那么预防的第一步就是清洁。我们洗脸的时候呢，要用温和的肥皂来清洁眼睑和睫毛，然后呢，用温的湿毛巾盖住眼睛，为眼睛来提供更多水分。而预防干眼症呢，也意味着要避免眼睛疲劳，所以同学们在使用电脑的时候，记得要经常休息哦。我们来看单字 prevention。Prevention 表示预防、防止。Shane 老师他刚刚说 ，An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure。字面意思是1盎司的预防价值相当于1磅的治疗。其实这个用语呢，就相当于中文的事先预防胜于事后的治疗。好，下一个单字 mild。 mild 它是形容温和的、不严重的，也可以形容天气是温暖的。那么 damp 是形容有湿气的、潮湿的。那这跟我们第一天提到的 moist 程度不同哦。moist 常常是用来描述这个土壤啊、食物或者是人的皮肤、眼睛等等，它是湿润的。那么 damp 则多用于让人觉得不舒服那种情况，像是可以用来描述衣服它还有点润润的，还没有全干的那种感觉。好，再来看到 frequent 它是形容经常的、频繁的。另外，文中也有用到一些跟眼睛相关的用语，像 eyelid 是指眼睑、眼皮，那么 lash 或是 eyelash 表示睫毛，还有 eye strain 表示眼睛疲劳或是眼睛痛。至于老师们说的这个 eyeliner 表示眼线笔 ，mascara 则是睫毛膏。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 all it takes is 表示只需要什么什么。好 ，all 是当代名词呢，它可以指说一切、全部，或是指 the only thing 唯一的事物。在这个句型里面呢 ，all 是当先行词，后面接了 it takes， 它是由 that it takes 只是省略了 that 而来的形容词子句。那这边它就是用来修饰 all， 而 take 是指需要 ，all it takes 就是表达只需要的事物。那要特别注意，这个主词 all 在这边要视为单数，所以我们后面才会搭配这个单数动词 is。All it takes is。好，举例来说 ，All it takes is a tap on the screen， 只需要在荧幕上点击一下就可以咯。好，接回到课文中。
While you're on a computer break, focus on blinking, making sure that you close your eyes fully on each blink. Blinking can help build up the layer of fluid that protects the surface of your eyes. Another way to prevent dry eye is to drink more water. For good overall health, experts advise drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water per day, which will increase tear production. Last but not least, be sure to get enough sleep each night, since a lack of sleep can reduce the amount of tears in your eyes. If you suffer from dry eye syndrome, these steps can go a long way toward making your eyes feel better. However, if the problem doesn't go away, then it's time to see a doctor. After all, your health is worth keeping an eye on.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
We're here to give you more tips on how to prevent dry eye syndrome, right?
Right, let's get into it.
Okay, while you're on a computer break, focus on blinking, making sure that you close your eyes fully on each blink. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, good idea, but seriously, like you think about like how long you're blinking every time you blink. I feel like that I will go crazy if I'm going to concentrate that much on my blinking.
Shane, just be patient, okay? No, just think about it. If you're staring at your phone or your screen for a long time, and now you start to blink, but you close your eyes for a little bit longer period of time, and then you open, it actually relaxes your eyes.
So just need to be aware of it, because I know if you start thinking about breathing, it's something that can happen like automatically, right?
That's right.
But when you start thinking about your breathing, it starts to make you a little bit anxious and nervous, and then you feel really weird, right?
Shane, you need to learn the lesson of patience, because that's what people do when they meditate, because they have to actually focus on their breathing to calm themselves down. Breathe in.
Okay.
And breathe out.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'll think this. I'll blink.
Blinking can help build up the layer of fluid that protects the surface of your eyes.
Okay, so when they're closed, it allows the kind of moisture to build up.
That's right. Fluid just means like the water, the moisture, to build up on the surface, on the outer layer of your eyes.
Good. Another way to prevent dry eye is to drink more water.
That makes a lot of sense, right? You need to have enough water in your body in order to produce more tears.
Right. Tears are made of water. Makes sense. For good overall health, experts advise drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water per day, which will increase tear production.
How big should the glasses be? I've always wondered. They always say drink 8 to 10 glasses of water. What if my glasses are like this small? Would that be okay?
I think it's like a glass is considered like 8 ounces of water.
Okay.
Don't quote me. Just Google it yourself, right? But you should be drinking.
Standard,
Drink
right? Standard
plenty
size.
of water.
You're right, all the time. So, advise is our next vocabulary word.
Advice or advise?
Advise.
Advise. Oh, it's like the word advice.
That's right, but that's actually the one you said is actually a noun, but advise is actually a verb.
So with a C, it's a noun. With an S, it's a verb.
But they basically mean the same thing. It's like to give a suggestion. People come to you with a problem. You can kind of advise them with a solution.
So if you've advised somebody, you've given them advice.
That's right.
Okay.
You tell them maybe what they should do to make their problems go away. So in our example sentence, it says, our manager advised patients when dealing with difficult customers.
Okay. Continue. Last but not least, be sure to get enough sleep each night, since a lack of sleep can reduce the amount of tears in your eyes.
So drinking enough water and getting enough sleep. Okay, actually,
interesting.
That makes a lot
I think
of
when you're
sense.
sleeping, basically, that's when the body does a lot of its repairs and kind of maintenance of your body. So when you don't get enough sleep, you'll have a lot of problems, not just dry eyes.
Exactly.
But that is one of the causes of dry eyes. Interesting. If you suffer from dry eye syndrome, these steps can go a long way toward making your eyes feel better.
So there are so many things that we can do to help ourselves, from getting the dry eye syndrome, right?
If something can go a long way towards something, that means that it really helps.
That's right.
To get to that goal. Okay.
However, if the problem doesn't go away, then it's time to see a doctor.
That's like my wife had to do. And then maybe they're going to put punctal plugs into your eyes.
Or maybe
Hopefully.
just give you some eye drops. We don't know.
That's true.
But you have to see an expert. After all, your health is worth keeping an eye on.
It's worth keeping an. So keep an eye on something means to watch something or to kind of examine it, right?
That's right. Okay, we do have a question for everybody. What do you think question?
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to ask you, and maybe you can give us an answer. What are some other old person diseases that are now affecting young people?
Wait, why are you asking me?
Because you are, one of the older ones here.
What are you trying to say?
Because you're more knowledgeable.
Well, but I should be asking you because you're a younger person, right? So as an old person, all I can talk about is what old people experience. Back pain, eye pain, every pain.
But actually, what I was going to say, back pain is actually becoming like a younger, generation problem.
Right. So I think that something that used to be something that was just affecting older people, like back pain, now affects younger people because younger people are doing things they didn't used to do.
That's right.
For example,
staring at their phone.
Like this.
Yes. So maybe you will also experience some neck pain too.
Yeah, you could also maybe be experiencing something like arthritis used to just be something that older people experienced. Problems with your fingers and stuff like that. But now, since we're always on our phone and typing and doing this kind of thing, you'll notice in the way we hold our phones, your wrists and your hands will start to get really sore.
You're right. So, it's good to understand these problems so we can do something to help ourselves, right?
I'm starting to think that smartphones and computers are not, they're a mixed bag. They're like really, really effective for modern society, communication and for getting information, but it comes at a price.
That's right. Well, I guess you can always choose to use them wisely.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. But
we
be
can
aware.
We can all try.
Just be aware to blink, to take breaks right, from your smartphone and computer usage.
That's right.
Get
so
out.
you guys take a break right now, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
另一个预防干眼症的方法是多喝水，专家就建议每天要喝8到10杯水，那么可以增加泪液的生成。最后呢，同样重要一点就是每晚要有足够的睡眠。我们睡眠是在修复和保养身体嘛，那睡眠不足会减少眼中的这个泪水量，也可能会造成其他健康问题哦。Shane 老师他刚刚用到 maintenance， 就是 maintain 的名词 ，maintenance。Maintenance 它表示保养维护的那种意思。那么单字 advise advise 它表示建议、提议。注意这是 ise 结尾，如果改成 ice 结尾会变名词 advice， 表示建议、忠告。那它是不可数名词哦。好，那如果你患有干眼症，以上这些步骤呢是会大有帮助的。可是如果问题没有消失，那么你就该去看医生了。毕竟啊，你的健康是值得密切注意的。Shane 老师刚刚就提到一种治疗干眼症的方式是使用这种泪管塞 punctal plugs， 它表示泪管塞，听起来好可怕哦。好，最后我们来看5个重点，进入文法时间。好，来看第一个重点是 go away， 字面意思是走开、离去，在这边是指消失。像我们可以说 All her worries went away after a long talk with her mother。在跟妈妈长谈过后，她所有的担忧都消失了。下一个重点是 It's time for somebody to 加原形动词，可以表达是某人该做某事的时候了，该要怎么样怎么样了，常常用来提醒啊，建议该做某事。举例来说 It's time for you to go to bed。你该睡觉了，你睡觉的时间到喽。好，下一个重点是 After all， 它是表达毕竟、说到底，是用来补充理由，说明要列入考虑的事。那这个部分它可以摆在句首或是句尾，例如 I think you should apologize to her. After all, she's your best friend. 我认为你应该向她道歉，毕竟她是你最要好的朋友嘛。好，下一个重点是 be worth， 再加名词或动名词，这是指值得什么什么的。像我们可以说 Is the town worth a visit？ 那个城镇值得造访吗？好，再来看到 keep an eye on somebody or something， 这是表达密切注意或是留意什么什么的意思。这个 eye 固定用单数型哦。举例来说 Could you keep an eye on my bag while I go to the restroom？ 我去洗手间的时候，可以请你帮我留意一下包包吗？好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
All it takes is a few simple lifestyle changes to prevent and treat dry eye syndrome. The first step toward prevention is cleanliness. When you wash your face, clean your eyelids and lashes with a mild soap. Then cover your eyes with a warm, damp towel to provide more moisture for your eyes. Preventing dry eye also means avoiding eye strain, so take frequent breaks when using your computer. While you're on a computer break, focus on blinking, making sure that you close your eyes fully on each blink. Blinking can help build up the layer of fluid that protects the surface of your eyes. Another way to prevent dry eye is to drink more water. For good overall health, experts advise drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water per day, which will increase tear production. Last but not least, be sure to get enough sleep each night, since a lack of sleep can reduce the amount of tears in your eyes. If you suffer from dry eye syndrome, these steps can go a long way toward making your eyes feel better. However, if the problem doesn't go away, then it's time to see a doctor. After all, your health is worth keeping an eye on.
Fushan Fish Recovery Area is a seashore ecological park. It is located in Dulan Bay in Beinan Township, Taitung County. Previously, the bay suffered from overfishing that left the area without any sea life. In 2005, the government and local fishermen founded the Fushan Prohibited Fishing Zone. Within 2 years, much of the lost sea life was restored. Now, visitors can pay for guided tours to learn about the various sea animals of the area. They can also stroll along the beach and explore the tidal pools and coral. The park regularly hosts beach cleaning days, family beach activities, and ecological education programs. Fushan Fish Recovery Area is a perfect example of how special environments can be restored and protected.
See you next time!